Hi everyone, and welcome to another review from Class 47 Peter, and today we're here to have a look at a Heljan model, as you can see. No prizes for guessing that, and today we're going to be having a look at the Class 128 DPU, which stands for Diesel Parcel Unit. And this model is in the Royal Mail livery, as you can see, quite clearly. Now this is a model that I've been after for ages now. These models now, these Class 128s by Heljan, have been out for, crikey, a few years or so now. I can't quite remember the year when this first came out. Was it 2014, 2015, something like that? And when it was first released, I was planning to get it, but I didn't, because other models were being released and I ended up buying those instead. And I just simply didn't think around that time to buy one of these until now. Because right at the end of 2017, I went onto a website called Train Stop and bought this. A Class 128 in the Royal Mail livery. Because I thought it was high time I bought one of these models, and so I went and bought it. And I bought it for £92, which I think is a good price. But anyway, let's not spend any more time talking. Let's get this model open, shall we? So that's what we're going to do. So this is the usual standard Heljan packaging we get now. We'll move the box sleeve to one side, and there we have the model. I mean, just look at that. I mean, that really is a stunning livery. I went for the Royal Mail livery because it's something different. Because I haven't got a model in Royal Mail livery, and so when I saw this livery I just had to get it. So here we have the instructions for the model. We have the diagram, the spare part drawing I should say, whatever it's used to call it. Which is called spare part drawing because this is for spare parts, so all parts are numbered. So if you lose a part, you can just simply go onto Heljan's website or get in touch with them, tell them the part number, and they'll simply send it to you. They've got a bit of brief history as well on the Class 128 as well, and the prototype specifications, and a bit about the model as well. So I'll put that to one side. And we have the detail part here, the detail pack I should say rather. And we just get two couplings, two NEM couplings, and what looks like a couple of chain link couplings in there as well. Or screw link couplings I should say rather. So on this occasion I wasn't going to get this little bag open just to show these. So I'll put those to one side. So just take away these polystyrene pieces. Then we have all, that's broke off, that's clearly been glued on. That one was, but that's just pulled off. The one at the bottom over has been stuck on a lot more firmly, so it's broke off. But never mind. And just to hit the tripod with it, it just snapped in half then. But anyway. So let's continue on with the unboxing. And this is like a multi-closing packaging, which I don't think I've seen before. Oh, hang on a sec, what's this? Looks like a sanding gear of some sort. And we have these down here. Yeah. Step and sanding gear. So I don't know if they've come off the model, or they've been applied as spare parts or separate details for you to fit on. But we'll soon find out. So I've just got to simply close this multi-closing packaging back up, like so. And then we just simply need to free the model from the packaging. Some other bits of detail have just come off. Right, so I'll have to sort that out, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, well I've spent the last couple of minutes now gluing those details back on. That step there had come off. 3 of the sanding gears had come off and had to be glued back on, as well as one of those underframe details. Now the sand gears, they were a little bit difficult to glue back on again. They were a bit fiddly, but I managed to glue them back on. Now that's something we really shouldn't be experiencing, really. I mean, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this with the Class 1 to 8 DPU. You might have, you might not have, or if you're thinking about getting one of these, it could happen to you. But we shouldn't really have to glue detail parts back on that come off. I mean, I'm not having a go at Heljan for this, I'm just simply pointing this out, that we shouldn't really have to glue these detail parts back on if they come off again. But that's just something I'm going to just point out. Again, I'm not having a go at Heljan for that. And to be fair, it's not just happened with Heljan, it's happened with other manufacturers as well, but, you know, we shouldn't really have to glue detail parts back on. They shouldn't really be coming off, and then we shouldn't be having to glue them back on again. Well, that's just something I'm pointing out. But anyway, moving on to the model now. So we'll start with the weight, and this is a very heavy model. Not that it's necessarily going to need it, 'cause it's not going to really pull anything. They did occasionally pull some GUVs, some general utility vans and parcel vans around, but that wasn't all the time. And to be fair, they wouldn't have pulled many either. I think they only would have pulled 1 or 2, at the very least. I mean, I've never seen a Class 1 to 8 DPU, because they were around in service long before my time, and none of these have been preserved. Based on what I've seen in pictures and videos, they didn't pull very many parcel vans. And they wouldn't have pulled them all the time, I don't think, either. But I'm not holding anything up to that. Moving on to the detail now, which we have sprung buffers, as you can see. I don't have much care for sprung buffers, but if you like them, then they'll keep you happy. They are made of plastic, though. Would have been nice if they were made of metal, but at least there are some buffers on the model. We've got the detail and the buffer beam already added for you there, except for the screw link couplings, which you have to fit yourself, so I might do that later. But we've got the vacuum pipes and these jumper cables and so on already fitted for you, which is quite nice of Heljan to have done that. We've also got some separately fitted lamp irons. We've got glazing in the cab windows and a warning sign there in the one cab window, and separately fitted window wipers. Separately fitted handrails on the front of the model, underneath and at the side of the windows there. We've got C1 crisply printed on the front there, and the tops dialogue and the specifications dialogue there, crisply printed, which looks nice. Some rivet detail on the front of this model. Now, an interesting thing with the rivets is The rivets where this one headlight is are part of the moulding. The rivets on the front here, just in the middle of the unit, are not. They are printed on. Now that's a little bit strange that they've done that, because if they've got the rivets as part of the moulding round by that one light there, but then the rivets on the front there are not, then that's a little bit of a shame, because it would have been nice to have had the rivets as part of the moulding, and otherwise moulded onto the front. We do have some glazing in the windows at the side there though, as you can see, which is very nice. There is some detail in the cab though, alas none of it's painted, it's all just moulded in one colour. But you can still see some detail in the cab there. You can see it better at the front actually rather than the sides. So it's not painted, but it is there. We've got a very nice door handle and separately fitted handrail there at the side of the door. Just look at those separately fitted small handrails there on the doors. I mean, that really is some exquisite detail, that. Very nice to see. There's a lot of detail on the bogies, the steps, the sanding gear, the speedometer, the axle boxes and the springs. And of course some rivet detail as well. We also have the underframe detail there, as you can see. And some of it is painted, which does look quite nice. Now the roof is not particularly interesting to look at, but you do have some rivet detail on the ends there and all these lines at the top, and what I do believe are called the roof vents. We've got the unit number 55995 crisply printed on the side there, and a stunning crisply printed BR Double Arrows logo on the door there. On this end of the unit you have the exhausts, they're separately fitted as you can see. Very nice. Again separately fitted small handrails, glazing in the windows, separately fitted window wipers and a warning sign in the window there. C1 and the specification dialogue printed. Detail on the buffer beam, and like on the other end, sprung plastic buffers. And of course you've got the printed rivets as well. On the front there. And of course the moulded rivets by that one headlight, which by the way, something I haven't yet mentioned, this model does have working lights, so that'll be interesting to see. Now the livery application of this is spot on. The correct shade of red and the yellow, finely and evenly applied, no errors in the paint, and it looks fantastic. And this really is a stunning livery, so you can see why I went for this livery now, because it's quite different from what I've got on any model, so that's why I wanted this livery. And I think it's probably one of the best liveries that this unit carried actually in real life. It's a shame none are preserved though. There's some superb lining, crisply printed, just on the bottom of the unit there. I just love the warning stripes on the doors, where they load the parcels and the letters into. Looks superb. You've also got the Royal Mail logo, crisply printed on the sides as well. Looks superb. And you've got Royal Mail letters, crisply printed on the sides there. You've got the correct style of font. I just love the way the font's been done, it just looks fantastic. And on the other side of the model, there's only one detail difference, and that's some slightly different detail on the underframe there, but apart from that, the rest of the detail is the same. Now we come to the running performance, and straight out the box is a smooth runner, as we'd expect it to. There's no stuttering movement, motors burning out, or any horrible noises coming from the motor. It runs as it should, straight out the box and how we expect it to. So overall, even if this model is not perfect, it's still a great model, and I would recommend that you get one of these. It doesn't matter which livery you go for, pick the one you like and get it. They are worth getting. So on that note, I am going to rate the Heljan Class 128 in Royal Mail livery. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. This has been Class 47 Peter reviewing the Heljan Class 128 DPU in the Royal Mail livery, or Royal Mail Letters livery, whatever you choose to call it. And I'll see you again soon for the next review. Until then, hope you've enjoyed watching this review. Stay safe, check out more other content and subscribe if you haven't already.